Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rules well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of this video is The Beast System is Collapsing. Basically, I got this video pulled up about the New World Order. Article. It says Putin declared the New World Order is emerging. Right, and this is something that the global elites have been pushing for. They have been pushing for the New World Order, or their MOTB system, which is a mark of the beast, and their digital fourth industrial revolution. Basically, the mixing of machine and man. So these are what the global elites are pushing for. But the world is watching. Babylon the Great and shameful spewing is being put on their glory, and their beast system is collapsing. Basically from this article alone, as Putin heads BRICS, is the head of BRICS basically, and he has joined unto him different nations. For him to have this mindset and this viewpoint, we know that these other countries also are thinking pretty much the same thing. So, this just goes into the fact that different nations are aligning themselves with Russia. And more so just because of the mindset or the political views and how they're ruling the world. Because Esau Edom is coming down, with great wrath, and he's been revealed. And when I say Esau Edom, I mainly mean Babylon the Great, and mainly the elites of Babylon the Great, because even Putin is gonna, pinpoint that specific point of, it being the global European elites. So, to get to some of this article, it says, so this is the article. He talks about different things, but I'm gonna just jump down a little bit. It says criticism of NATO and Western policies. So from reading this article, Putin seems to understand that it's the global elites, controlling NATO. It says Putin reserves strong words for NATO, calling the alliance, and let's see what this word means here. It says a chronological inconsistency, or a person or a thing that is out of place in time. It says an anachronism is when people, events, objects, language, or customs from different time periods are placed together. For example, a caveman microwaving his dinner, or a Jane Austen character texting instead of writing letters. Okay. So it's basically saying NATO is out of place in time. It says Putin reserves words for NATO, calling the alliance an anachronism and accusing it of undermining global stability. He characterized NATO's eastward expansion as a creeping intervention that threatens Russian sovereignty, and claimed the alliance is using Ukraine as a tool to fight Russia. According to Putin, NATO's role has been particularly destabilizing since the collapse of the Soviet Union, leading to what he sees as unnecessary conflict and tensions in Europe. It says, continuing his critique of Western influence, Putin claimed that Europe's political elites were more interested in preserving their power than fostering genuine growth, suggesting that their approach was increasingly out of step with the broader international community. Right, and that's basically the heathen of the world, different individuals. Psalms 49:11 says the inward thought is that, they shall continue in generations. Let me grab that. It says their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, in their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. So, with this in mind of the heathen trying to, establish their new world order, there's a shift, which we'll get into. right? And that shift is basically the collapse of the beast system that USA Babylon the Great has built up, right? That's how they were able to go out and control the world like they do now, right? Through these different NATO alliances. Continuing his critique of Western influence, Putin claimed that Europe's political elites were more interested in preserving their power than fostering genuine growth, suggesting that their approach was increasingly out of step with the broader international community. The current, and so there you go. And if you look deep into this, Putin is talking to these different, international community leaders. Members of NATO are interested in BRICS. They're talking and things. So it says the current, and basically going to Ezekiel 38, Putin is the chief. We'll get that. He's the speaker, basically, because he's the head. It says Ezekiel 38 and 1, it says, "In the word of the Lord Yahweh Bashmiel Shah came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog and Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against it." So chief prince, is ruler, like king, leader. And Gog and Magog is Russian, land of Russia, right? So we can see that Russia is the head of these different, countries. Meshach and Tubal is going to Turkey, Persia, the Irans, Ethiopia, Libya, right? And that goes, Africa's in BRICS. Iran is about to join BRICS. Even Turkey, Gomer, Germany, and all his bands, the House of Togomar, which is Turkey. So Turkey is, I believe they was joining BRICS. I believe Turkey was the first one, and then now we have Hungary. So basically, once again, Putin is the leader, and they're talking, right? Because they're having different alliances. They're talking. You have to take that into consideration, right? It says the current of world politics is in the opposite direction of the aspirations of the West. So basically, whatever Babylon the Great is trying to do, the world is against it, just like the world and basically America's allies are against them and what they're trying to do and the things that they are doing. It says the current of world politics is in the opposite direction to the aspiration of the West. He said, asserting that the global trend is moving away from Western hegemony towards a system of ascending diversity. It says alliance shifts in the rise of BRICS. Putin pointed to rising interest among some NATO members in cooperation with the BRICS alliance, which includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa as evidence of this global shift. And these are just like the main, that's why it's called BRICS. They have like a whole bunch of people joined unto them and more like on a waiting list, but I doubt they're going to extend the name to all of that. It says he lauded BRICS as a model of constructive cooperation that aligns more closely with the goals of a multipolar world order. So basically, Babylon the Great is trying to rule the world as it has always done with an iron fist, even moving towards the world order. But now what's happening is that these different nations are to see how Babylon the Great operates, right? That man of sin has been revealed, and that shameful spewing on their glory is being revealed, and no one no longer want to do business with them, right? They're finding alternative means, and that alternative mean is in the power of BRICS. And that's why the scriptures say what it say, that Russia, will lead these different countries to come against Babylon the Great, because these different countries are aligning themselves with Russia. It says he lauded BRICS as a model of constructive cooperation that aligns more closely with the goals of a multipolar world order. Even in a TikTok video, Putin said that these different, nations are talking to him, and saying things. They're talking about different things. It says Putin suggested that this shift could lead other countries to reevaluate their alliances, hinting at the possibility of closer cooperation between NATO members and BRICS nations. So he understands that, it's basically the global elites controlling, which is the West controlling what they want, but it's different NATO members that are trying to, join BRICS, and they're talking about it. So these are things that we're looking for, right? The scriptures say, the Most High will set us upon our watch, and we'll watch and see, and you get that. Yeah, that's Habakkuk. Habakkuk 2:1 says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon a tower and watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And that's basically going to us being watchers, watching what's going on in the world. All right, so let me get this. This is Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. It says, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people, and the words of prophecy which I put in my mouth, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord Yahweh Shah, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. And that's the point. Basically we can see the scriptures unfolding. Isaiah 55:11, it says, So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereunto I sent it. Right, and that's basically the destruction of Babylon the Great, ultimately the destruction of the beast system, and the rising up of Russia to destroy Babylon the Great, basically, and different nations aligned to it. And that's in history after the defeat of the Soviet Union. Russia was pretty much docile, but now they're waking up, and they're gaining strength, and nations are being joined unto them. So let's get Mark 3:23. It says, And he called them unto him, and said unto them in parables, How can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. Right? And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have been in. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. We get this in the NLT. Mark 3:23, it says, A kingdom divided by civil war will collapse. Similarly, a family splintered by feuding will fall apart. And if Satan is divided and fights against himself, how can he stand? He would never survive. Let me illustrate this further. Who is powerful enough to enter the house of a strong man like Satan and plunder his goods? Only someone even stronger, someone who could tie him up and then plunder his house. And ultimately, the point that I wanted to get here is verses 25 and 26. It says, Similarly, a family splintered by feuding will fall apart, and if Satan is divided and fights against himself, how can he stand? He will never survive. And basically that goes into the beast system. Like I said, the beast system is falling apart because what Esau even has done was set up this family, which is the beast and NATO, right? EU, all of his military might and his different vassal states. They're one big family. And what we're seeing now is division, these individuals, right? Feuding, the determining how things should be operated and things shall be done. You have different warrants on Benjamin Netanyahu. You have different political views of people not wanting things to be done. There was even talks of aid not going to Israel, over for the war. And like I said, now you have Turkey trying to join BRICS, and you have Hungary trying to join BRICS, different nations joining BRICS nations, and all this is just feuding among that beast system, amongst the family that Esau even has set up. But this Revelations 13:11 says, And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and he causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Now, this is going into the Roman Empire that fell, and what rised up out of that is basically the American Empire, right? Which is basically a spit image of the Roman Empire. This is that beast, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, right? And that goes into some of his military power, that being a nuclear weapon. It says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And that's basically what America has done. Copied uh, the Roman Empire, basically their policies, their buildings. And they also went around the world, these other vassal states, to do the same thing. Push their policies on these different vassal states. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And Esau Edom has done this in a number of ways, because his blessing was the sword. And he went out to deceive the nations, and anyone didn't, play ball or, follow the policy and things like that, they could do different things because they had the power of the whole earth, and they're losing that power today, like putting tariffs on people, stopping trade routes, and basically this destabilized their country. It was even something done in Venezuela where the dollar meant it didn't even mean anything. They had like bills all over the floor in the streets, and this is the work of Esau Edom, right? It says, and he called all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom, let him that have understanding count the name of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and its number is 636. Right, so that was the point. Basically this beast, being Esau, even went out to deceive the world, and he caused all those individuals to, worship the beast. And a part of his beast system is that they don't EU alliance. Let's get this to Revelation 17. Let's start at Revelations 17 and 12. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Right, so these individuals are joined unto Babylon the Great, right, as vassal states, and they receive power with Babylon the Great. But as we inch closer toward the end, and as you can see from the article, that these alliances are looking for different alliances now toward the end. And it's just one article. There's plenty of videos going into that. I've done plenty of videos going into, that the brothers everywhere have done plenty of videos going into this, right? But as we inch closer and closer to the end of Esau's kingdom, these things are just, coming out. More evidence is coming out, and that you can clearly see with your own eyes of how the nations are reacting. It says, Revelation 17 and 12, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb. So, the point, which we'll get to this right now. So again, these have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. So once again, coming from Mark 3, where a kingdom divided cannot stand, Esau Edom's kingdom is that beast system, right? And it's crumbling, it's collapsing. And pursuant to Ezekiel 38, once again, these different nations are joining unto BRICS now, right? So we know that we are at the end of Esau's kingdom. He no longer has that control over the people. It says, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. Now, this is going to something entirely, because this is just going to World War III. When World War III comes, because all nations will be gathered together in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the Lord's judgment, right? During World War III, fighting each other, and the Lord will return, and they will all fight the Lord on his return. But of course, Yahweh Bashan shall overcome them. Jumping down to verse 15, it says, "And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues." It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." So now this is also going to the World War III. But the point I want is that they shall. It says, "In 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore." Right. So as you can see in verse 13, it says, "These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast." Now these are the same nations, that we're talking about today. Hungary, Turkey, and the other NATO nations are, trying to join BRICS. It says, "In the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For Yahweh hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, unto the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled." And that goes into, the word of the Lord going out, and it shall not come void back unto him, right? Like I got earlier in the video. So the Most High purpose has went out. What he has proposed against Babylon regarding these NATO states has went out, and now we can see as we inch closer towards the end that they're starting to shift, just like the title said over here, the shifting of these NATO nations to BRICS. It says, "In a woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth." So that's pretty much that. Lord willing, this boosted your faith, in the words of Yahweh Bashan Shad, knowing that they are faithful and true, and things are, happening, things are coming to pass, all right? So with that, I'll say shalom to those elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.